We go back in history thousands of years, long before Christianity and long before Islam. Ethnically speaking, we are Arab, we are Arabs. We meet today almost 60 years since the establishment of the State of Israel. In fact, 61 years after the partition plan, which was signed and approved by the United Nations Commission on the 29th of November 1947. And whenever I'm asked about the partitioning of Palestine, I say that was the first separation wall that was built not by the Israelis, not by the Palestinians, but was built by a commission of the United Nations and the Security Council. Today people speak of the separation wall that Israel is building. If we were wise enough and smart enough to raise the issue of that wall that was built in 1947, there would have been no way for Israel to build the present separation wall. When I was asked about the separation wall, I said I would like to see the separation wall tumble down. This is not the era of separation walls. This is the era of building bridges. We want to replace this wall with a bridge to heal and to reconcile on the basis of justice and on the basis of truth. Without truth and without justice, there will be very little chance for peace that is just and lasting. When we speak of truth, I mean to share the facts on the ground. And when we speak of justice, I mean justice for the parties that are caught in the conflict. Now, many people have used different instruments to bring about an end to the conflict. Oslo was one. The Geneva Accord was another. The roadmap was one. When I was asked to comment on the roadmap after examining it, I found it to be a road without a map and a map without a road. The roadmap does not address the boundaries of Palestine or Israel. The roadmap does not address the key issue of Jerusalem. The roadmap does not address the issue of the Palestinian refugees. The roadmap does not address fully the question of the Israeli settlements. So there I found a number of holes in the roadmap. I don't think it will bring a peaceful settlement to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. It may be used as a tool on the way, but it's not the end of this way. Annapolis came, and in my opinion, very little has been achieved since Annapolis. I was reading in one of the magazines that Annapolis witnessed the sale of the first black African slave. And a Jewish friend of mine described Annapolis as a joke that is not so funny. Where do we go from Annapolis? How will we continue to approach this? I will sum it up by sharing with you what I shared with Tony Blair when he was still the Prime Minister. On the 18th of February 2003, I had the chance, some say the privilege, the chance to meet with Mr. Tony Blair with 3 other bishops, trying to challenge him not to go to war against Iraq, But he tried to convince us that going to war against Iraq will pave the way for peace in the Middle East. Now, I never believed that wars bring peace. But after he finished, when my time came to respond to his idea, I said, sir, the shortest way to Baghdad goes through Jerusalem. Once peace comes to Jerusalem, peace will come to the whole world. In my opinion, Jerusalem is a key issue. Around Jerusalem, we have 2.1 billion Christians, 1.5 billion Muslims, and about 16, 17 million Jews. All look to Jerusalem. The Muslims, أولى القبلتين, the first of the two qiblas, والثالث الحرمين الشريفين. To the Christians, all Christians should look to Jerusalem, not to Rome and not to Canterbury. But Jerusalem has been undermined over the years. And now it is not the first Qibla and not the third. It's way somewhere there. If the Christians were concerned about the special status of Jerusalem, they should have seen to it that Jerusalem be spared from the pain it's going through these days. In 1998 at Lambeth Conference, I presented a proposal for a solution to the cause of Palestine, whereby I said that Israel, and that's what I want to share with you, that I don't see any other alternative to the following, unless we want to continue to go around the bush. The only way forward for real peace, for just peace, is by the implementation of the United Nations resolutions to withdraw from all the occupied territories, including East Jerusalem. Because East Jerusalem has the same destiny. It is occupied, and all the governments in the world continue to recognize it as an occupied city. For Israel to withdraw from the occupied territories, those Jews who think, because of history, because of their faith relation with the land, wish to continue to live in what is now known as the West Bank or Gaza, I don't see why not apply for citizenship in Palestine. I don't believe in swapping of lands, because once you start swapping of lands, you start bargaining. And once you start bargaining, they do a better job than us. They know how to bargain. They're the powerful, we're the less powerful, and then we may reach compromises that will not last. And so we will continue to be in this vicious cycle. So the way I see things, withdrawal from the occupied territories, no swapping of lands, use the settlements to replace the refugees in the neighboring countries, give them the sacred right of return, though I am 100% sure not many of them will come back. They're well settled in different parts of the world, but they want to come back. Israel, the Jews in the world have the right to come back to Israel. How many have come? There are 16, 17 million Jews in the world. There are about 6 million Jews in Israel. So 10, 11 million Jews continue to live abroad. But they have this right of coming back to Israel. The same applies to the Palestinians. And once this takes place, and here I come to the need to address the issue of relationships.